Hello, everyone. Welcome to Intelligent Automation Live Dialogues presented by Customer Experience Live. Today, we are very happy to be joined by Thuraya Al Harthi, a Senior Specialist, Innovation and Emerging Technology Development at Ministry of Transportation, Communication, and Information Technology, Oman. Thuraya is also an expert in emerging technologies and digital transformation with over 12 years of professional experience. We're so happy to have you on, Thuraya. Welcome.
Thank you for hosting me, and I'm excited for this interview.
Thank you. So, as we go into 2022, hyperautomation is now the new trend for most organizations, and it's becoming a big thing for a lot of the organizations. What are your views on it? How do you feel?
Oh, well, this is a good question. What I can say that hyperautomation is a trendy and valid tool for the future-proof organizations. And now every organization has been jumping to this trend, and they are racing to be the first one to implement these technologies within the organization. And also many studies actually they prove the importance of hyper automation, and actually in fact let's see about the statistics. And according to the Gartner, they say that the worldwide market it will reach about $596.6 billion and at the end of this year. And now let me tell you, of course, why it's got hyper automation. It's come very popular suddenly. Of course, because it will improve the implementation of the AI and machine learning in the business process, and also because it will enhance the ability because you can easily measure the impact of digital transformation efforts you made within the organization. And also, and of course, other than reduction the cost, it will significantly boost the productivity of any organization. And let me hear like talking about my what's my opinion and view about hyper automation. Well, what I can say that organizations should aim all any organization shouldn't aim to getting an apple before growing the tree. What I do mean about this, some organization they adopt the automation because if it is just a fame and because it's just a trendy, but at the end later on they discover they don't have the proper foundation. They don't have the base, and that's why it's very important to have the before implementing the hyper automation. You have to follow some steps to be taken. And of course it's not wrong to aim big, but aiming big and being sustainable, this is of course, as I said before, it requires a proper step to be taken.
That is totally true that a proper foundation is very essential to anything and everything in life, especially for intelligent automation and these kind of new technology where people, as you said, like would like to do it just because of the trend, just to be up to date, but they lack the proper foundation. So what I am thinking about is, if you talk about intelligent automation, one of the foundations is structured data, right? You need the data to be structured to be able to pull the insights effectively from it. So in your opinion, how can organizations prioritize structured data and manage this?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Well, since automation has been gained popularity and very famous, well, data structure has been important for any organization to capture the importance. And if they have to create the data management strategy. And this actually the management strategy. It should focus more about identify the business objectives Like, what data did you need to meet these objectives? What is your organization objectives, and what kind of data you need to meet, to align with the organization objectives? And like, what type of insights, what type of information required to make the proper and the progress to meet your initiatives, your organization initiatives. And also and also the data management strategy. It's focused to create a strong data process. Like, it will help you to know from where you will collect the data, where you will store it, where you will store it, how the analysis it will going on. And actually this is strategy. It will be like a roadmap for any organization to manage and prioritize the data structure. And of course, it will help to determine the process, the tools, and the governance, and more.
Absolutely well said, Thuraya. So when we talk about an automation journey, like let's say an organization is starting to adopt automation in their processes, so we cannot not talk about change management. Change management is a very big thing. So what, in your opinion, what do you think is the best way to manage change management in an automation journey?
Well, actually, this is linked to my first answer. To make any project, succeed, project management is a very important tool to make any project sustain. We need to have a proper steps, and change management actually is the best approach to use. Imagine with me if Einstein coming to you back some days, and they say, "Here you go. This is my latest invention. It will light your world," without explaining anything. Did you know why most of the projects fail? Because they hasn't been properly introduced. The user, they are resistant. Because they want to change, because they didn't understand why you adopt this suddenly change. So change management is a very important. And I want to link the change management, like what happened here in my organization. We adopt the change management and automate all the government services here in Oman. And actually, the change management, we put it one of the strategic level that we need to adopt. So basically, we used a model. We call it ADCAR model for this automation. And this is actually ADCAR means like awareness. A is for aware, which is basically we gathered all the employees. We explained for them why we need to adopt this change within the organization, and this is how actually will help and will change for better. And D is, which means desires. We let the employees aware and let them feel like how this change will help them in a better way, how they will make them happy, how they will reduce the redundant work for them. They will not use paper. And then knowledge, which is we train them, we let them get familiar with the technology itself before we adopt it. And its ability, we ask them like, okay, this is the technology we use. What do you think about this technology? Give us your feedback and how we can monitor and improve these technologies. And finally, the R, which is the reinforcement. We actually we desire the result. We monitor. We try to encourage them to keep using this kind of technologies. So as to conclude about the change management. Every organization, they have to put change management as a priority. They have to put it one. They have to have a proper change management plan before adopt any technologies within organization.
That is so true, Thuraya. Like, no matter what kind of, even if you're adopting the highest technology, the newest technology, if your employees, the internal customers are not happy with it, sometimes people resist change because they don't understand it, right? So
Yes,
it's
yes,
very important to educate them. And like you said, explain to them how this is going to make their lives easier. I think that
exactly.
is one of the main points of it.
Yes, yes.
All right. So as we go into 2022, we're still in the early points of 2022. Do you see any challenges in the industry regarding automation and intelligent automation as well?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Any challenges that you see for the industry or your organization as a whole?
Yeah, well, I think the main challenge is for the hyper automation is before starting automate. I think it's about the change management because every organization they want to adopt any technologies, they want to do the change, but at the end, as a result, nobody used the technologies. They faced a high resistance. So I think this is the first one, and the second one because uh, some organizations they want to jump to follow the latest trend, and they didn't build the base. And let's see, I know many examples. They request their employees, they tell them like, okay, let's adopt the hyper automation, and even they don't have the automation itself. They are using paper. I mean, how you can jump to something and you don't have the foundation itself. So I think it's very important, and this is a challenge to be addressed to reskilling the employees, let them know the latest technologies, like for the AI, the machine learning, how the hyper automation it's work, and how you can how the how the machine it will deal with the data, with the structured data itself. Also, what I can say, another challenges it comes to the lack of skills. When I'm talking about lack of skills, there is a lack of skills from technical perspective, and knowing this kind of softwares and how the softwares can help, how the softwares can help to accelerate some adoption of technologies. So I think the lack of skills, the lack of technical skills, is also a challenges that need to be addressed before adopt hyper automations.
Thank you for that answer, Thuraya. So we talked about how things are going to look like in 2022. So beyond 2022, do you see any new emerging technologies that you think are very exciting or that you can see it changing the whole landscape for automation?
Yeah, well, this is actually good questions. I am passionate about technologies. So basically, other than hyper automation that I explained earlier, well, I can say Gartner, they are introduced other trends related to the automation for 2022. And some of them, like say the AI engineering, which is basically focused about the AI governance. It will focus about the data itself, like how you can before automation, how you can ensure your business value, your data is it's already governed. And another technology which is the decision intelligence. This is can support to enhance the people to make the decision very faster, because the decision intelligence is reached from data. So that's why we can see the importance to have a proper data that will help you to use the latest trendy technologies, that will help you also to automate very easily. Another technologies also, which is generative AI. The generative AI is actually this is a new trend, and this is very important because I think now everybody they are using the content, the social media and everything. And the idea of generative AI is to create videos and accelerate the RD, and how to create a creative content, use the machine learning to predict for you a creative content for you. So I think it will be interesting because many people now they are using social media, they are blogger, they are using a lot of data itself. So they need the kind of machine learning and AI to give them an ideas or help them to automate very fast.
Very exciting and interesting trends, Thuraya. Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for joining on our intelligent automation dialogues today. I can see you are very passionate about the subject, and it was very lovely to talk to you, Thuraya.
Yeah, thank you very much for hosting me again. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope to see you on our intelligent automation live show in May.
Sure, looking forward.